she built a department of 40 people from nothing, closed deals that made senior partners nervous, and on an ordinary Tuesday night, alone in her own kitchen, her hand still wouldn't move to make one phone call, the one where she says the word leaving. That's not weakness. It's not even really a contradiction. It's a mechanism. And by the time this ends, you'll see exactly how it works, and why it can quietly take hold of someone twice as capable as you. Here's what makes this hard to explain from the outside. This isn't a story about someone who lacks options, or self-esteem, or awareness. More often it's the opposite. Someone with more insight than most people around her, who can name the exact problem out loud, and still can't make her body act on what her mind already knows. So throw out the question, why doesn't she just leave? The real question, the one almost nobody asks, is what's actually. Picture a composite case, built from patterns across the therapy and research literature, not any single real person. A woman in her mid-30s runs her own successful practice. Her partner is the kind of charming that makes a whole room lean toward him. Behind closed doors, that charm has a second setting. He questions her judgment, undercuts her decisions, and always has a reasonable-sounding explanation waiting, right on cue. Not one big rupture, 1,000 small ones. Each one easy enough, alone, to explain away. Together, large enough to quietly redraw the way she sees herself. Here's the belief you'll hear at any dinner party. That stay-in means weakness, low self-worth, maybe even secretly enjoying the chaos. It's a tidy story, and tidy stories are popular. They let everyone else feel safely, comfortably different. That could never be me. But researchers who've actually studied this, including relationship expert Ross Rosenberg, keep finding something close to the opposite. Not weakness. Something almost nobody wants to hear, because it means he calls the human magnet dynamic, points to something uncomfortable. The traits that make someone genuinely successful, empathy, loyalty, a strong work ethic, the instinct to fix a problem instead of walking away from it, are often the same traits that make her vulnerable to a charming, high-need partner. This isn't a character flaw. It's a mismatch, a real strength, aimed at exactly the person who knows how to lean on it hard. Here's the actual mechanism. Psychologist Patrick Carnes calls it a trauma bond, an attachment that forms because of a repeating cycle of tension and relief, not in spite of it. Criticism, then charm. Coldness, then warmth. Each swing back to normal releases a small flood of relief, and over time, that relief starts to feel indistinguishable from love. Layer onto that what psychologist Daniel Kahneman called loss aversion. The mind weighs the pain of leaving something familiar as heavier than the promise of something better, but unknown. Smart people aren't protected from this. If anything, a sharp, analytical mind is unusually good at building convincing, and it compounds. Every time things get better for a while, the relationship quietly teaches her a lesson. Her own instincts must have been wrong to worry in the first place. Over months, sometimes years. This can erode confidence in her own judgment, the very judgment she trusts everywhere else in her life. Author Lundy Bancroft, who's spent decades working directly with controlling partners, points out that this erosion is usually gradual by design. slow enough that no sing. Here's the deeper reveal researchers keep circling back to. Leaving is almost never one decision. It's usually several, made and unmade, before it finally holds. Attachment researchers Amir Levine and Rachel Heller point out that a more anxious attachment style can make a partner's mixed signals feel almost more gripping than steady affection ever could. The brain treats the unpredictability like a puzzle it still needs to solve. That's not weakness. That's a nervous system doing exactly what nervous systems are built to do, just aimed at the wrong target. So if any of this sounded familiar, not just about someone you know, but about a version of yourself, that recognition on its own matters. Insight is almost always the first thing that comes back, before change does. Not guilt, not more self-criticism. Just clearer sight. The question worth sitting with isn't, why did I stay? It's what would it take to trust my own read on things again. The good news researchers emphasize again and again, this pattern is learnable, and it's unlearnable. Therapist Shannon Thomas, who works specifically with recovery from these dynamics, describes it as a gradual rebuilding, not of confidence from nothing, of confidence that was there the whole time, just buried under 1,000 small doubts. Support from people outside the relationship, professional guidance, and simply naming the pattern out loud. These are consistently what helps someone trust their own judgment again. Smart didn't fail here. Smart just needed the right information. Now it has it,